This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Gwilda Wiyaka's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the Science of Magic or endorsed in any manner by Gwilda Wiyaka, Relmar McConnell Media Company, its affiliated networks, stations, or employees. Welcome to the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, a program dedicated to uncovering the unified nature of reality and humanity's ever-evolving place as truly galactic beings. For more information on the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit us online at www.thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome to the Science of Magic, a place where science and magic come together to transform fact into evolving truth. We're proudly coming to you through the rapidly expanding X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, and can also be found on our website, thescienceofmagic.net. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. This hour we'll be exploring Energize. I was introduced to energy medicine over 20 years ago in Boulder, Colorado, the mecca of alternative health care. As a recognized shamanic practitioner and medical intuitive, I had the good fortune of interfacing with top alternative medical practitioners of the time. From medical doctors, neurologists, psychologists, psychiatrists, alternative dentists, and chiropractors, to biofeedback experts, herbalists, Reiki masters, rolfers, and massage therapists, each based their practice on the energy medicine model. Energy medicine is based upon the concept that illness is caused by frequency imbalance or compromise. It's no wonder I found common ground with the energy medicine practitioners. From a scientific standpoint, shamanism can be defined as an organized set of rituals designed to focus the practitioner's natural ability to manage matter at the quantum level. This is done through frequency mastery. Everything expresses according to frequency. Albert Einstein said, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics." If that's true, the reality of health is a result of compatible and balanced frequencies, and illness is a result of imbalanced or compromised frequencies. Every chakra, organ system, structure, and cell of the human body has its own unique frequency. Each human body has its own set of frequency harmonics based upon the balance, or lack thereof, in its various parts. And this is just the physical body. The same is true of the emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. We're amazingly complex organisms, yet one rule applies throughout. Health is all about maintaining balanced frequency. As a rule, illness is not caused by any one thing. When our overall frequency is compromised by multiple factors present in our lives, the weak link will break. If we're genetically predisposed to cardiovascular disease and we have an imbalanced diet, sedentary lifestyle, heartbreak, and stress, we'll probably develop heart or blood pressure problems. But it isn't necessarily a single factor causing the problem. Rather, all the factors combined lower our frequency until we can no longer maintain physical health. If instead we have a genetic predisposition to cancer, the same frequency compromises may result in cancer rather than cardiovascular problems. Once we've recognized a cumulative frequency compromise impacts our health, instead of chasing symptoms around, we can take an entirely different approach. Rather than viewing ourselves as victims of mysterious predestined diseases, the treatment of which is dependent upon the accuracy of the diagnosis, we can instead search for the sources of frequency compromise. There are imbalances we can do something about. Others may not be so easily changed. By addressing the ones over which we have control, like diet and lifestyle, we can energize our overall frequency and often correct multiple problems. It's important to recognize that if our frequency is grossly compromised to the point we're really seriously ill, we may need to support our system with traditional means until we regain enough frequency to continue the healing process. With other alternatives, after all, there is a time and a place for everything. Lower frequencies need stronger corrections to bring them to the point where more refined energy medicine practices can be effective. Our guest this hour, Dipal Shah, came from a pharmaceutical, biochemistry, and business background. She's transformed her life from an often stressful career to a path that brought her to an awakened spiritual journey of healing. After studying multiple modalities and becoming a certified healing practitioner, Dipal has developed quantum body awakening, an energy technique for healing that balances every organ, gland, and system in the body. After this commercial break, I'll introduce Dipal, and together we'll explore energy medicine and how to energize your frequency. So don't go away. You're listening to The Science of Magic. Prior innovative episodes can always be found on our website, thescienceofmagic.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine such as hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining rooms can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you visit, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic downtown Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is Certified Healing Practitioner, energy worker, medical intuitive, and developer of Quantum Body Awakening, Dipal Shah. Her website, ANANDA4Life, AnandaForLife.com. Dipal, thank you so much for joining us on The Science of Magic.
Thank you, Gwilda. I'm so happy to be here today.
What did you do in pharmaceutical and biochemistry arena?
Oh, goodness. Actually, I was a sales rep, and I was a very ambitious sales rep. I had numbers that I had to fulfill, and I always wanted to be, in the top. And my biggest thing why I got into pharmaceutical sales was because I wanted to help people overcome their health issues, and very quickly and effectively. And this is the way I knew how. So I really felt like being in pharmaceuticals and having my business background, I could grow in the field and help people. And this is how I knew how I could provide justice and help those who needed it. So I got into the pharmaceutical industry, after achieving my master's in biochemistry, and got my business degree. And then I did a 180, and I quit my job. And now I'm here today doing energy medicine, which is completely different. And I never imagined I'd be doing something like this. But it's just so much more fulfilling now, and I feel like I'm actually finding my life's purpose, which is what we're all here to figure out, right?
Absolutely. So what is a certified healing practitioner, and where did you get your certification?
Actually, what I did was I wanted to after I left the pharmaceutical industry, I wanted to find out how I could heal myself. I wanted to find out, because I myself had many health concerns and digestive issues and emotional issues and trauma that we've all been through, right, at young ages. And I knew there had to be another way. So I started taking care of myself by making healthier choices. That's the very first thing that would come to my mind. Let's cook healthier. Maybe that'll help. And as time passed, I was intrigued by stones, that healing with stones. And as I got more and more acquainted with them, I found all these other chapters of my life open up to other healing modalities. And so I took class after class, and now I feel like this energy vampire where I just want to learn and learn and learn. And I love being on this journey, because it not only brings the science together with the mystical aspect, of the unknown. And I myself had no idea that I could tap into such abilities of, seeing, feeling, hearing, energy. And when I learned to do that, my intuition just got stronger and stronger, and it continues to get stronger. So, and as I continue to learn at the quantum levels of healing, it was amazing. I did a Mind, Body, Spirit expo, and there was a gentleman who was taking pictures, and I guess you could see energy within this different kind of camera. And he must have gone around to all the stalls, and he was taking pictures, and he comes over to my stall, and he's like, "This is unbelievable. I don't know what you're doing, but it's I've never seen this. The person that you're working on is completely lit up." And it was such a, I knew there was something going on at a deeper level, at a quantum level, for this person. So just seeing my clients and how their lives are changing, how their bodies and their energy, their health, their relationships, it's just wanted me to do more and more and learn more in my life.
I'm sorry. So where did you get your certification?
I actually have received a Reiki certification.
Nice.
And I've received my pranic healing certifications. And I'm learning through Deborah King, Life Force,
right,
energy work. So that's where I'm getting my certifications.
So would you define energy medicine for us?
Yes, definitely. I feel like energy medicine is, it's kind of, I feel like it's who we truly are, and our essence, our presence, our body, our soul. It's made up of our Hara Line, and our energy field. And when all of it comes together, it presents this beautiful body of energy. And when we work with doing energy medicine, we're allowing the body to release whatever blockages that we seem to take on within our energy field, and what's constricting us, what's not allowing us to be who we truly are, and what we are meant to be here for on Earth.
Do you see who we're truly meant to be as a frequency thing, a frequency expression?
Oh, I definitely do. I definitely feel that there's different levels, and we vibrate at many different frequencies, and our energy vibrates at different frequencies. And when we're put in certain situations, you can tell when your energy gets lower or higher. I feel like you can also tell somebody else's energy when it, depending on how they're acting or how their frequency changes in certain situations and events.
So how do the modalities that you've studied fit in with the energy medicine model?
The modalities that I work with, that I've studied, they fit in because they're all teaching the same thing, Gwilda. They all seem to be connected. All the modalities out there, I feel that they're all teaching us that, okay, when there's a blockage, okay, and you can start, they teach you how to feel the blockage in somebody's energy field. And when you can feel it, you can help release that blockage and increase their frequency. So the biggest thing that I've learned is that if I can increase my frequency and the person can resonate to that frequency and entrain their body to that frequency, they can start their healing process.
So it's like an attunement sort of thing. And let me clarify a little bit. This is something I've always wrestled with, getting the right verbiage for. Because we think of raised frequency as higher, but radiation is higher frequency and it'll burn you, okay? We're talking
right.
we're talking more expansive frequency, aren't we? Like a wider bandwidth?
Yes, definitely. So frequency meaning the frequency of source, the frequency of the divine. As we meditate, we raise our vibration. We raise it, and we're thinking about frequency and vibration to God source, or whatever you believe in, whatever you call it, you call it universe, light source, God, whatever you believe in, that higher power. And if we can resonate to that frequency and allow that frequency to come through us and entrain that other person's body to that, that's where healing starts to take place.
Of course, my modality is frequency-based as well, being shamanic in base. However, I found that there are some people or some circumstances whereby they think they want to heal, but there's certain patterns that have them invested in their illness. And we can raise their frequency, but then if they don't process it, we raise it on the spiritual level, but if they don't process it through the physical, emotional, and mental level, there's no change in their life. Have you experienced this, and how do you address it?
Yes, actually, I have experienced it. I had a young lady whom we had been working for a year, and, spiritually, she started to change. Things in her body even started to change. Her back problems. She had really bad lower back issues. She couldn't move, and there were times when it got really good, and her, we started seeing magnificent, significant changes in her body. But then all of a sudden, it got really, really bad, and it was worse than it was before. And what I noticed is I've also learned how to talk to bodies. And when I talked to the body, it seemed like it was just holding on to these emotions to where it didn't want to let go the physical aspect of what was going on. And I feel like sometimes the body just says, you know what, I'm here to learn a certain lesson, and I still haven't learned it. So I'm just going to keep holding on to this energy. And she just has held on to it, and I could see when she talks and how she feels about certain things in her life, and events and the situations. And she's got so much anger built up that it's all manifested and held on into that back. And even I, as an energy healer, cannot seem to help her release that. Because a lot of this stuff also has to come from within. The change also has to come from within. We can only do so much as energy healers. We can start the process and get it going and teach. However, a lot of it has to come from the person.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah. Because we can't push against a person's patterns, and we really have to trust their paths, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. And what I like to work with is the Hara Line. I have found significant, interesting facts about the Hara Line. I've been studying it more and more lately. So it's been really intriguing to me as to how the Hara Line has come about and the importance of it, because I haven't heard too many healers and too many modalities emphasizing the Hara Line.
I'm aware of it. We have a little less than half a minute left here, and it's a large subject, the Hara Line. So I'd really like to pick up with it on the other side, because I think it is an extremely important part. Because if you can tap into that, you can tap into the entire system. Is that correct? Definitely.
And I'd love to share that with you.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. So we are going to be going into a break here, and on the other side of the break, we'll dance a little more with Dipal and a Hara Line and energy medicine. We'll return to our discussion on the flip side. We're coming to you through the X-Zone Broadcast Network. Don't miss the other fine shows and hosts on xzbn.net. You're listening to The Science of Magic, thescienceofmagic.net. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. There's more energy healing info to come, so don't you go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, soul balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world. Welcome back, folks. This is the Science of Magic, a place where magic and science come together to promote enlightenment. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is the developer of Quantum Body Awakening, Dipal Shah. Dipal, we were just about to talk about the Hara Line, and I know in a lot of the Eastern practices, the Hara is like the belly area. But the Hara Line, tell me what that is and what you know about it.
Oh, definitely, Gwilda. So first, you have your soul, okay? And then the Hara Line forms. And then our energy field forms at conception. And then the body comes about. Now the body grows, our energy field grows out of the body, because as you know, the energy field goes from inside. You know, we have so many layers of it. We have so many layers within our body, and then it expands so much further out. And so the Hara Line is a thin blue line that goes down your spine, and it's more so on the outside of your spine. So if you take your finger and you put it into your navel area and you go deep, you can actually visualize the Hara Line, and it goes about 3 to 5 feet above your head. Okay, and it has these, so that's the first connecting point, is your navel. And then the top, 3 to 5 feet above your head, is the second connecting point. But there's a very important third connecting point, and that is at your thymus. And we all know that the thymus is our immune system. It takes care of our immune system. But it is also called the ascended heart. And it's our higher heart. And it's located right at the sternum. You know where we have that bump that protrudes out right above our sternum? Mm-hmm. That's where the thymus is. And so if you tap on it gently, it'll start to wake it up. And the more you work with the thymus and tap on it, like at night, your heart will start to open up, that heart, that ascended heart, and you'll find yourself becoming more compassionate and more loving. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful heart to just open up, and when you open up, you'll know it. So working with this Hara Line, it's all about intentionality. So what happens is when we decide to come on Earth, we take this precious human life, we have an intention already, and it's a spiritual intention. But what happens is we forget it. We forget what our purpose is as soon as we come out. And we can't remember it. That's why we have all these tests and, you know, in life, and we're trying to figure out our purpose here on Earth and trying to figure out who we are. And for some people, it takes years and years, 50, 60, 70 years. And for some, they never figure it out, right?
Right. So where does the Hara Line ground into the planet, or does it?
So it does. It does ground into the earth, and it also goes all the way up into the heavens, up into the universe. So that is what grounds us. And it's actually this right behind the navel, just a little bit below, that is our grounding cord into the earth for the Hara Line. And
does it go out through a particular chakra?
It goes out through the base chakra.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
So that's why we work with the chakras as well. Our energy field, our chakras are in each of our energy fields.
So I understand that the Hara Line pulls, is related to source energy, and then the chakras differentiate that like a prism into different expression in our auric field. Is that the way you view it?
Oh yes, that's exactly it. The chakras are in each of our energy fields. So when you start feeling the energy fields, you can feel and work with the chakras. You don't have to work directly on the person at their chakras. And that's what's so significant about it. And the thing is, now the Hara Line can get distorted, okay? And when it does get distorted, the reason it gets distorted is because of the trauma that the body, the soul goes through in womb to our teen years, okay? And when we have distortions in that Hara Line, there's a lot of inner conflicts that you see going wrong in your life. It could be health, wealth, relationships. It could be anything in your life. But people don't connect to that, that, oh, I need to straighten out my Hara Line. Like, how many people talk like that, right? So when we work with the Hara Line, what happens is when we have these inner conflicts and when we go through trauma in womb to a certain age, we build up, we forget who we truly are, and we take on these defense mechanisms, and we take on these different characterologies because they're all based on fear.
Boy, that is the truth. And then that interferes. I see that as a distortion in the Hara Line because the fear creates the blockages. The blockages, the Hara Line can no longer freely flow into the body. And there you have it. It looks like a distortion. Is that the way you perceive it?
Yes, I do. What happens is when the Hara Line gets distorted, we start to act differently. And you'll see people act different in different situations. You know, you may act differently at home versus at work. And, you know, it's like having different personalities, you know, and because you've forgotten who you are. You know, I'll tell my husband sometimes, I'm like, that's funny. Why did you do that? You know, why were you acting like that? That's not you, you know, or I'll tell my kids, why would you do that? That's not who you are.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, I understand you're a medical and emotional intuitive. Could you explain what that is to people?
Yes. So I work when I connect to Source. When I do my work, I talk to bodies, and I bring their energy field to me, and I connect with their energy field. And I can actually sense what's going on, what happened when they were young, what trauma they've been through. The information just comes pouring through to me. And so we talk about that and we discuss that. And so I like to connect with people and talk about not only what's going on with them medically, and how to help them in that essence, but also the emotional side, because to every health issue, I feel like there's a lot of emotional stuff connected to it. So, that's why I say I am a medical as well as an emotional intuit, because there's always a connection, an underlying connection between the two of them.
Exactly. Yeah, that it's an empathy of sorts, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
medical intuitive, isn't that when you are kind of like using your medical intuitive skills? You're looking at the physical body on all levels. But if you're talking about the emotional intuitive, you're tuning into what the emotional realm of another person, and oftentimes you can pick up stuff that's background noise for them that they're not aware of. Have you done that?
Yes, I have done that I do that for all of my clients. So once we sit down for a session, we will, go through and I will clear their energy field, because I feel like we take a lot in our energy field, okay? And when you don't cleanse the energy field, because there's such dark energies there, and if you don't clean that thoroughly and you go straight to the body, it may cause a healing crisis. And I've heard so many times as to people saying, oh, I've had a healing crisis. I can't do another healing session just yet. I'm going to have to wait, or I'm vomiting, or this is happening. But it really shouldn't. It should be a very gentle and sophisticated process.
Don't you think that healing crises come from someone having an agenda and pushing beyond what would be the natural order of healing?
A healing crisis can happen in two ways. One, like I said, not cleaning their energy field,
Mm-hmm.
and two, pushing beyond the limit. If they're not ready for a certain healing or a certain initiation to higher growth, it may cause a healing crisis. I do truly believe that.
So this is the difficult part, Dipal. How can you tell a person's readiness? Because they might be saying one thing with their mouth and a totally another thing with their patterns and fears. How can you personally, as a practitioner, tell so that you're staying within that safe zone?
Yeah, you know what, Gwilda? It's funny you asked that, because that's exactly what I wanted to understand as I was learning all these different modalities. And so I have learned through talking to bodies and asking the body and getting myself and my ego out of the way, you know, because as a healer, what do you want to do? You want to heal, 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 right? So once I can get that out of the way and leave it to source, I can ask the body, what do you need from me? How can I help you so that something like that doesn't happen? And is the person ready for a healing? Are they ready to move on spiritually, emotionally, physically into their next level of being?
You know, that being able to ask is so important. How can you be sure of the accuracy of what you're getting when you ask the question, when you're talking to the body?
Yeah, the accuracy. You know what? I have to depend on my God source. And like I said, I have to take myself out of the equation. And initially, before, it was very hard for me to do that because I was very much into, I want to heal this person and we got to get rid of this knee pain or whatever it is. And I base it all on intention. I definitely call in, invoke, my higher guides, their higher self, and I allow the work to happen. The biggest thing is allowing and listening. And for a lot of us, that's very hard to do, but it takes a lot of practice. And just having that intention, whatever intention that you may set, just having the intention there is so important when you're doing this work.
We have about half a minute. How much does the conscious and unconscious intent of your client have to do with the effectiveness?
You know what? A lot of these clients are very conscious because they're not really sure what's going on and what's happening, and they don't know what to expect. So they're thinking at a very conscious level, but I'm communicating with their unconscious level. And that's what's so beautiful about this process. And so that's where healing starts to take place because we're dealing on two unconscious levels.
Got it. We're going to have to take that promised break. Dipal and I will be back shortly, so don't leave us now. This is The Science of Magic, thescienceofmagic.net, the place where altruistic professionals of science and the esoteric create common ground for the betterment of our world. We're brought to you daily on the leader in paranormal spirituality, alternative health programming, the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money in abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, bringing together gifted people of service to the world. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. And one of those people of service is our guest this hour, the developer of Quantum Body Awakening, Dipal Shah. Dipal, tell us a little bit about Quantum Body Awakening.
Yes, Gwilda. I actually came up with that modality based on all of the modalities that I've learned, because I found that every modality has something different to teach. And so when I came up with Quantum Body Awakening, I realized I was helping my clients at a whole different level. And I would put little things that I've learned here and there together. And it just made the healing for my clients so much more profound for them. And it was just very, very different. And I didn't want to just stick to one thing, because I knew that one thing didn't work for everybody. And so I always had to work, figure out, okay, what's going to be a good way to help all aspects of our being, your mind, body, spirit. And a lot of people were coming to me for their physical ailments. And I love working on the medical aspect. So helping to release pain or discomfort or an illness. I've worked with so many different professions, lawyers, doctors, And of course, my biggest clients are my family. So yay, you know, every day there's an issue, you know. But that's how I came up with quantum body awakening. It just sounded just so much more of just me and what I offer to my clients.
So do you see energy medicine interfacing with allopathic medicine, including quantum body? And if so, how do you do that?
Do I see it resonating with which one? Allopathic?
Yeah, interfacing with allopathic medicine.
I guess to an extent I do. I mean, we could have, there's if we can combine, if there was an ideal person, an ideal client, and they could do Western medicine and Eastern medicine. You know, I'm not saying that quantum body awakening or any of these other modalities are going to overtake anything that the doctors do. My recommendation is to always go see a doctor, see what's going on, right? I'm not a medical profession, and so I definitely think that if we can combine acupuncture, allopathy, or naturopathy, and therapy and energy medicine with our whole being, then I think our bodies would be so much more healthier. I don't think we'd be popping that many pills as we do nowadays, you know? Even for the little things, I see people popping Motrin or Advil, and it just may not be necessary, you know?
Do you personally interface with mainstream practitioners and refer back and forth?
Oh, I do. I definitely do, because I think it's very important to have that connection. Of course, everything is HIPAA, right? So, a lot of times the physician may not cannot tell me what's going on with the client, but as long as the client tells me what is going on with them, that's the only way I accept the information. And I don't tell them to get off their current medication. I don't tell them to do anything. The only thing I do recommend is a lot of meditation and a lot of journaling, because what I've found is that when our voices aren't heard, right, and how much of that is true for every one of us, that's where all these emotions and all these physical ailments start coming in. And you'll find a lot of women with thyroid issues nowadays, you know? And why is that? Because we're not allowed to speak our truth, our voice. And so I find that with meditation and journaling, we're able to get out there and calm our system and then release whatever we need to release as we journal.
Our guest this hour is Certified Healing Practitioner, Energy Worker, Medical Intuit, and developer of Quantum Body Awakening, Dipal Shah. Dipal, from what I'm understanding you saying, is even though you work physically, you're working on the spiritual level of the physical body. Is that true?
Yes. So we work on the energy fields, and when I work on the energy field, it's also working on the physical body. So it's an amazing process how the energy field, when I start working and release blockages out of the energy field, it starts to manifest physically. And that's when I had those experiences by other energy healers, before I started, I thought it was the most amazing thing, how I could release, heartburn, or, how my body can heal itself just through releasing blockages.
What can you tell us about what you call entities, and how do you address them? Speaking of blockages.
Yes, entities. Wow. I've worked with entities, and they can cause physical ailments as well. And
let's start with, what are they?
I feel like entities are more of a lower vibrational, a very low vibration. It's fear-based vibration, okay? And I feel, yes, it could be that fear-based vibration that just sets in, or it could also be have just not gone to the light that come to harass people. Especially children. I find that they linger around children from ages, newborns to the age of 7 years old. My daughter had 8 entities that were attached to her, and she was having dizzy spells. So it had manifested into a physical thing. And when I had tuned into her body, I realized what was happening. And when I asked her, she told me all about it. I had no idea. And that evening, we released, and I need that person's help to release them. I can't release entities myself. Like I said, this is a 2-part healing. It's not just me being a conduit of light doing the healing. It is that other person. They have to be willing to let go, right? That's what it's all about. Healing is about releasing and letting go. So entities are the same thing, that lower vibration that we need to let go.
So do you think entities can be created by the fear of other people directed at the child? Say, for instance, our own patterns and fears that we don't want to have happen to them, and then they take on the fear themselves?
Yes. It could be an external factor as well as an internal factor, right? Our own fears, or even, and of course, a lot of it's coming from the outside too, because somebody can definitely send energies your way, right? But we're doing that all day long. We're constantly sending out energy, whether we know it or not, and whether it be a positive or negative, right? And entities, you go past a cemetery, who knows? There may be an entity that may need a ride, and and so we can pick up entities, I think, from anywhere. So I think the best thing to do is we can protect ourselves and ground ourselves all day long, but just being that open window, not allowing these lower vibrational energies to stick to you, and constantly raising our vibration.
We're about to run out of time, but we've got a couple minutes left at least. I'd like you to tell us how you feel your work can help a person find their true life purpose.
So the way I work to find somebody's true life purpose is basically tapping into that Hara Line. Gwilda, I feel that is where our true life purpose is. That is what we need to align. And once that is aligned, you will see your life flourish in so many ways. You will find joy, the happiness, the wealth, the relationship you've been looking for, just connecting that Hara Line. And so that is what my healing is all about, connecting with that Hara Line and straightening that Hara Line out.
And again, the Hara Line is powered by Source. Is that correct?
Yes, it's what we came in with. It is our intention. It is what we have forgotten, who we are, and we got to bring that back.
So it's who we are at the frequency level.
Nope, who we are at the physical level, our earthly being. Who are we?
So what can a person expect, does your modality work long distance?
Yes, my modality is, 99% of my patients are long distance. They're from India, they're from Sweden, they're from Canada, so they're from all over the world.
So you don't have to be physically present with them for it to work. That's wonderful.
No,
wonderful.
And that's what's so beautiful about this.
Dipal, thank you so much for being on the program. We're out of time. It's been a true pleasure. Our guest this hour has been Certified Healing Practitioner, Energy Worker, Medical Intuit, and developer of Quantum Body Awakening, Dipal Shah. Her website, ANANDA4life.com, ANANDA4life.com. This has been The Science of Magic. Remember, you can always listen to past thought-provoking episodes on our website, thescienceofmagic.net. Until next time, dear ones, may you be blessed with knowledge and comforted with love as you become energized.
Searching through the night. One Shah.